Simon and Joe, BBC Radio London on a Saturday morning. One of my friends about 25 years ago, from when I was much younger than I am now, learned the tango. And she used to go once a week, every week. And it used to be the night we used to meet up. But she said, no, I'm now taking up tango. And when she said she'd taken up tango, she said, I've never been happier. I've never met a greater group of people. And she did it religiously. And I think, to be honest, I'm not in contact with her anymore, but she was doing it every week when we ceased being in contact. Have you ever danced the tango at home? Have you ever done it? We'd love to hear from you if you've ever danced the tango. Joe, have you ever danced the tango?
Never danced the tango, but I am so looking forward to this because, as I say, I've seen my guests warming up and I don't know the history of the tango. I assume it's an Argentinian national dance, but the story behind it, because I know there is a story, there is a sequence of steps that represent the story of the tango. So I reckon our guests will be able to explain this to us. In the studio we have
Facundo Santiago, who is a cultural attaché from the Argentine Embassy in London. We also have two tango dancers who you were seeing warming up earlier on. Leandro Palou, who's from Argentina, and also María Tsitiani, who is I think from Greece. Are you from Greece?
Yes, that's correct.
Welcome to all of you this morning.
Thank you.
Can I ask you, Facundo, what's interesting is that the tango is something that I think naturally people from my background fear, because if you dance with a stranger, you tend to dance at a distance because we're very reserved. Tango, you can't do that. It's a very close and sensual experience.
Yes, it is, and it's a very Argentinian and Latin experience, so that's why it's very close. So
and is there a specific history behind it? Do we know how the tango came about?
Oh yes, there is a specific history about it, but I think maybe the guys here who are the experts on tango and tango dancing, they can explain it to us.
Before they do, I must say that everyone who has just arrived is about 20 times better dressed than we are this morning. You are all have made a massive
Your
effort,
camera
and
ready.
I'm very jealous of Leandro's suit, I must say as well. Tell us about the joy of dancing the tango, both of you. Thank you for coming in. What is the joy of dancing a tango?
Well, as you said, from the experience of your friend, once you start, it's addictive. Once you start, you can't stop. So people that start tango, all of a sudden, they start making new friends. And the old friends, as it's your experience,
they get left behind.
Exactly, because the tango kind of takes over. You start once a week, and then you want to do it twice a week, and then 3 times a week, and then the weekends are filled with tango, and most of your weekday as well.
But also, she used to meet strangers. Not in the street, but like within moments of being introduced, she was able to start dancing. It's remarkable. Is that your experience too?
That's the magic of tango, that you can have these dances with total strangers just for a few minutes, and then that's it.
Hey, it's done.
So if we think of tangos, apart from the cliched look of a rose between your teeth and all of that, but it's that cheek to cheek, arms outstretched, literally dancing as one body, basically. So what is the history behind that? What do the moves represent?
Well, it started in the late 1800s, and it has evolved quite a lot. It used to be a mix of dances from very different places. The port of Buenos Aires was receiving so many people from around the world, and all of a sudden this mixture of cultures gave birth to what we know now as tango. It started very, very different from what it is today. The golden era of the tango is the 40s and 50s. That's when the main development, both of the music and the dance form, that's the time where it exploded and it made mainstream in Argentina. Before, it was a little bit obscure. It was from the bordellos, and we know the story that it wasn't allowed in the high society. When it made an impact in Paris, all of a sudden people in Argentina started looking at it in a different way. They say, oh, this can be nice and elegant. And it took off in Argentina.
Can I ask you, obviously you are from Argentina and your partner today is
María.
from Greece. Who is the better country for turning out tango dancers?
You put me in a very difficult situation right now. Thank you very much for that. But tango was born in Argentina, and still today is the mecca of tango. Having said that, it has spread all around the world, so we have excellent dancers of very, very high level.
So diplomatic. Can I say, we were asking listeners at home if you've danced a tango. Nicholas says on the email, Joe and Simon at bbc.co.uk, I used to do ballroom dancing as a teenager 40 years ago. I still have all my medals, and tango was my best dance, says Nicola. If you've danced the tango, tell us your story this morning, 0207 224 2000.
May I ask, because any other form of dance, you're encouraged to smile and grin, but the tango is the complete opposite. It's solemn and very serious and focused. Why is that? Why aren't you grinning whilst you're dancing?
I think because you need to focus to connect with the other person. So it does take a little bit more serious mood. It's not in a bad mood, but it definitely is a little bit more focused in the dancing.
And I was looking for anyone out there who's trained as a dancer, the technique that you use, which fascinates me, and I was watching you do it over there, and you'll know the term, I don't know what it is, where you swing your leg out and then you go into a flick.
A hook.
Is it a hook?
Yes.
Because the foot is literally hooking.
Yes.
These are some of the steps that are just for the tango, aren't they? The hook. What other steps are they that we would recognise from a tango?
I think one of the things that make the most unique and different from all other dances is the hold, the way that we hold so close, chest to chest. Like we used to the expression cheek to cheek. In tango, it's more chest to chest. That's where all the communication happens, really. Because you're so close in the chest, then of course your faces are close as well. But it starts all in the chest. The communication, the dialogue is through the embrace, el abrazo.
And I'm seeing Maria being lifted in that. So you lift her in a hook, basically. You lift in this. So the silhouette is wonderful. You don't see it in any other form of dance. It's quite rigid, isn't it? So you hold yourself quite rigid throughout the whole dance. There's not a sort of fluidity. It's a completely different hold, isn't it?
It depends on what you're dancing. There's today we're going to see two different kinds of tango dancing. One is the social, which your friend was probably learning. And then there's also the stage, which is what we see, say, on TV or in the theaters. And that does require a little bit more, let's say, strength.
Well, we should speak about this because this is all part of the cultural, the event that you have on, and Facundo, as we were saying, is a cultural attaché. So what is it that is happening, obviously, of which this is a part?
Well, we've got a very big tango event coming next Saturday on the 27th. It will be a milonga or social dance in Borough Market from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. And we will have 6 couples dancing during the whole evening. But there will also be one class for beginners. So if you know nothing of tango, but you love dancing or you love the music or you want to have a good time, you'll have a class for beginners.
And who's got the patience of a saint that's going to be taking that one? Who's in charge of that? Is that you? Is that one of you two?
We will be teaching, yes.
Patience of a saint, I'm sure. Go on. And so this is happening in Borough Market, partly, and then is it happening elsewhere as well?
Well, the main event is Borough Market on the 27th, but we will also have some classes coming in October, and this will be in the Argentine Ambassador's residence.
Oh, right.
And these are...
Where does the
that's in Belgravia.
Oh, in Belgravia.
Yes, but that will be in October, every Wednesday. And it will be mainly just for an initiation class for totally beginners.
And does the Argentine ambassador know this is... so you've advised...
Well, yes, we've told him.
Good. Who is the Argentine ambassador?
Well, it's Ambassador Carlos Zarzale.
And does Carlos, does he dance a tango? Does he...
Well,
he does.
Yes.
He does.
Well,
He apparently does.
Maria's nodding.
I think it's required. Yeah.
It is
Now,
prerequisite.
we're going to film this because
Yeah.
Simon and I are so lucky, and everyone else who's in the building at the moment, to have this performed in front of us.
And as a dancer, you'll have to talk through what's happening.
I can't even begin to do what these two are doing. I mean,
No.
it is yeah, I can
But
do a bit of
describe it,
commentary,
yes.
but I know I now know the move that I've been referring to is the hook.
The hook.
But it is...
And the hold.
And the hold of the fish dive, but I don't think they do a fish dive in this. But we're going to film it, so it will go up on our social network after the show. So all of you will get an opportunity to see this as well.
And this is in advance of Borough Market Goes Tango. It's happening a week today, next Saturday. from 7 till 11 p.m. I mean, it's a real continental time, isn't it? Hopefully we get the weather to match that next week. I really hope we do. Borough Market goes tango next Saturday, week today, from 7 till 11 p.m.
Now, they're going to be dancing. We fade ourselves out because if we bring the mics up, they can't hear the music. So you won't hear Simon and I chatting, which will be a blessed relief. This is...
So we'll have to explain what happened. You have to imagine this in your mind.
Yes. So I can't do the commentary. Phew. It's a track called Cielo Ciego. Am I pronouncing that properly?
Cielo Ciego.
Thank you.
Perfect. Effortless.
Right. So this is what they're going to dance to. So Simon and I, you won't hear. We're going to sit and just be entertained, but we will share it with you. It will go up on social network, we promise.
Just brilliant. It morphed into you halfway through there.
Oh my goodness, if I die tomorrow, I'll have a smile on my face. That was amazing. Oh.
The last half of that was Joe.
Good Lord.
And actually, you've got the knack of that.
No,
but
I have never danced a tango before. That was to dance with someone who holds you properly. Gosh, and I'm out of breath. Guys, that was amazing. Thank you. Simon, just explain what we saw there.
Right. What was, I think, really interesting was two things I felt. One was the sheer strength that you both have, because actually there's a lot of athleticism in what you two were doing, particularly the lifting and the movement. You've got to be very agile, and the movement was remarkable. It is as if you are one person. It really is as if you're one, which I suppose is the key. Secondly, do you know what I was thinking while watching you dancing? Is it... this is not supposed to be a kind of a joke or a dumb question. It's a serious question, because to dance the tango, if you don't know each other, and you're a bystander, you can look at what you were doing thinking they must be a couple. Can you dance the tango as you have just done with somebody you dislike? As
Good
a job,
question.
as a business, as something you have to do? Because it looks so romantic.
Absolutely. The communication that you establish when you dance is totally different from what we are used to in a day-to-day basis. You learn a new language. When you take on a dance like tango, you're not just doing movements. You take on a culture. You take on a different language. It's very similar to learning a new language. All of a sudden, you can communicate in ways that before you thought it was impossible. So it's very interesting in that way. And you can dance with a total stranger. Probably you're not going to do the lifts that we were doing.
But I love Maria's nose fitted right next to your nose. She just puts her nose next to yours.
Me too, actually.
No, but it's just so beautiful. And what I love from where Simon and I were sitting, so there is this broadcasting desk between us. So when I was sitting down, I just see yours and Maria's torso, which it doesn't move. It's like, they say the swan glides along and the legs are going crazy underneath. If you stand up, you can then actually see what your legs are doing, which are hooks. They're like Twizzle's legs. They're like serpents' legs. But the upper part of your body is totally still. It's quite extraordinary. And then I was given the opportunity to dance a little bit as well.
And you must be a good dancer, because seriously, if Jo's saying she's never danced a tango,
I've never danced a tango.
Like
she did great. She did absolutely great.
Yeah, but you were literally leading me. I mean, I've never done it before. But
Jo, I have to say, I really enjoyed my dance with you.
Thank you. Well, I have to say I really enjoyed mine with you. But Maria put me to shame. Honestly, the two of you, it is literally poetry in motion. It's beautiful to watch. Really is. Gosh.
And just give these details again, because it is Borough Market. The headline is it's Borough Market Goes Tango. Next Saturday, 7 till 11 at night. You're both going to be there too, and you will be doing some classes and for beginners, and people can watch you dance as well, I'm presuming.
Yes,
we
we will be doing an absolute beginners class at 7 p.m. And again, as we said, it attracts so many people. Last year we had it was absolutely full. We couldn't even move, but it was so much fun, and a lot of people show up. It's a great way to get your first taste.
And
of
when
tango.
did you first start dancing? How old were you two when you first started dancing?
Well, I was 14 years old.
Right, and you?
I started dancing other forms when I was very, very young in New York, but tango I've only been dancing for 5 years.
Wow, so there's hope for us. Yeah, so you start
beautiful.
today, and in 5 years' time would be great. And also, just remind us, Facundo, of the Argentinian Embassy as well.
Yes, well, we have a very comprehensive agenda in the cultural section of the embassy. We've got loads of events this week. For example, we've got events on literature. Inés Arteta and John Carlin will be giving a presentation on female characters in Argentine literature this Tuesday at the embassy. And we'll have authors Mariana Enriquez and Samantha Schwebling. They'll be speaking at the Waterstones in Islington before going to Hay Festival. They're two very well-known female authors.
Brilliant.
We also have another book presentation on the 29th of June, a book about Evita. So this is a very well-known.
It really is
and
a
well, it's a very comprehensive agenda. Just check out our social media. It's we're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. It's at Arg in UK. So we've got everything there. Everything's free.
Thank you very much indeed for
Wonderful.
all of you. It's really great to meet you all for coming, and thank you for dancing, because you don't need that at first thing on a Saturday morning, but you did it, so thank you. And if you go along there, please tell us.